Tidings, regenerative organisms, to the recap of my first 15 episodes of my Starfield series. There are going to be a few disclaimers and a few reactions to funny moments and highlights of the first 15 episodes of this series. The first disclaimer being that the first 6 episodes of this series are fucking poor. So poor. With audio issue after audio issue and inconsistent experimental editing slodge. However, some moments of light stand out in the episodes, and we're just going to go over the highlights, and I'll make sure I outline the story that we've covered or skip past, just to share with you one of Bethesda's biggest projects, Starfield. Whether it's a failure or not, you'll have to watch the whole series to decide. I'll also show you the intros and the outros of each episode as well. So, let's get on with episode 1. Hello, everyone. This is my first playthrough of Starfield. I'm a little late to the party, but we'll just forget that, yeah? For an intro to an entire series, I don't think that's too bad. It was quite slow opening, and my voice is very flat. Here, on Fun Open World, we play all of our playthroughs on hard difficulty, so we die a lot. And I'll get one save on a pause every 30 minutes. I'm sure that won't make me angry when I die at any point. Yep, I play every single game on this channel on hard difficulty, so that's between normal and between the master insane difficulty that most games have. And we just play on hard, because that makes sure that some strategy is involved. And then it isn't just killing things and moving through the story for no reason. It takes some actual effort and some thought to get through each stage. The game actually starts off with you as a miner, and you're on a casual expedition mining some ore, and you stumble across the first artifact of an alien structure. After we retrieve the artifact is where we meet this man here, who's given us his watch, who is actually looking for the artifact at this moment and wants to get it off you. However, he is being tracked by pirates at the moment and decides to give us his watch and his spaceship behind him to go and inform the other members of his faction Constellation that he has found an artifact but is being tracked by pirates. Again, however, the pirates actually tracked Barrett to where he is now, and it's too late to get away. So we end up fighting them and ultimately hunting down the commander and extinguishing the threat. Okay, I won't do it. I'll let them live. Never mind. See, it's not a bad scene, faking that I won't shoot the red barrel and then shooting the red barrel, but it was just delivered so poorly. The laugh afterwards made me twist inside with a bit of cringe, and I don't like that, honestly. This woman should definitely be called Karen.
Helena Chambers, ID SSCOM 1327 HCHA.
Bruh. Here's the outro to episode 1, the first outro of this series, which it kind of shows that I want my own identity with my outros, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but here we go. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, have fun. See ya. I like zooming into the character's face and having an outro that way. I decided later on in the series it would be my face and I would tell you directly. Let's move on to episode 2. Whoa, welcome everyone, I'm back. I don't know why I've lifted the video up here and there's a black bar at the bottom. I must just have not noticed. That's poor. This is episode 2 of Starfield. I know it's been a while. I've been on holiday up in space. And I didn't go on holiday to space, if you didn't guess. I went to Paris, so I mean technically we're all on a rock in space, are we not? What's that say? Subscribe or I'll smack a space whale. Oh no, we don't want that to happen. You all better subscribe then. I mean, I'll stand by those words. Subscribe or I'll smack a space whale. You don't want that to happen. Just as we... Oh, and that was it. That was episode 2. We're on the outro of episode 2 now. The highlights of episode 2 were the intro and the outro. So episode 2 was just spent theorizing who made the artifacts and where they came from. None of that context or story was highlight worthy, apparently. So this is the outro to episode 2. It's nice, isn't it? It is indeed, yes. I mean, well, as such bad commentary. I am actually going to end this episode here. So thank you all for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Remember, always have fun. See ya. Episode 3. Continuing where we left off, I like that. Wonderful people, welcome back to Starfield. Can you believe we're already on episode 3? Yeah, so that screenshot was taken 11 months between those 2 recordings, or maybe 10. And then there was another 4 months between this episode and the next one. And then I started to commit to this series fully.
Now you're mine.
Sorry, I mean...
Now you're mine.
I just sound like a kid that's just discovered a voice changer. It's a very embarrassing scene, if I'm honest. The camera shake slips out of the red border because it's shaking too violently. It's just lazy.
Let's take a little stroll through New Atlantis, shall we?
Yes, we shall. Yes. Yes, lovely greenery. Lovely alien trees, yes. Lovely trees. Oh, lovely ambience. Listen. What do we say to our stroll, Sarah?
So long.
Are you saying...
The first time we meet the adoring fan in Starfield. It was so nice. Bethesda had to do it twice.
I looked you up, tracked you down, and followed you all the way here? Who'd be crazy enough to do that? Either way, it's such an honor to meet you.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Hey, do you mind if I follow you around?
Okay, this one surely. So this terrible shot gave birth to this picture. That is an iconic picture, let's be honest. If Astra's marksman skills were as good as his football skills, he'd be dead. This must be Bartender Jack. Alright, Mr. Bartender, let's talk business. Okay, so as this conversation plays in the background, I don't know why I used an AI image to portray Bartender Jack when I could have just used Bartender Jack. Though this conversation is about a vanguard in the military who has recently purchased one of the artifacts that Constellation are looking for. Although he's mistaken it for an ornament as he doesn't know what it does or what it is really. So Astra and Sarah are trying to track down the Vanguard by talking to the bartender at one of the Vanguard's most visited places. This conversation ends up leading us towards Venus, as the Vanguard we're looking for, Vanguard Mawara, told the bartender that he was heading there to deal with some spacers.
Fine.
What?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my god, Sarah!
Eat this!
Eat what? Whee! See, those two scenes are actually quite funny. Because I think Sarah would be in that much pain, if we're honest. For episode 3, they aren't the worst edits. Oh yeah, there's just one more thing that I need to do. And now we're on the outro of episode 3, so the whole of episode 3 was just spent chasing Mawara. And that is actually the name of episode 3, Chasing Mawara. And that is in the episode here. Thank all you guys for watching, and as always, have fun. So that outro is actually pretty good, if it wasn't for the audio only going into your left ear. That's right, if you were listening with headphones, you were only getting sound into your left ear. I did not realise this audio issue until 4 minutes into recording next episode. So for the first 4 minutes of next episode, there is also only one ear of audio working.
And I'm a fool for doing this.
Episode 4! Hello, Sarah. That was the first time I got that idea to use shuffling glitches as something funny. And that stayed. Oh. Wow. Wow.
Don't come any closer. Identify yourself.
That was the first time we met Andreja. The reason we're there is because Andreja hadn't been heard from for a while by any other members of Constellation. So we were asked to go and find Andreja and also another one of the artifacts. Astra decided to go and get the artifact first, and then we found Andreja at the same place where the artifact is anyway. And then of course we tripped out on the artifact and had a grand old time.
A hunger for exploration.
Actually, it's a hunger for I can't have that in there. Sorry, yes, a hunger for exploration.
Good.
Good. So we end up going to Venus to find Vanguard Mawara, and we only find a satellite with a recording on from Mawara, but we also encounter some Varun zealots.
See that cluster of ships?
Yes.
Varun zealots, completely devoted to a deity they call the Great Serpent, the devourer of the unbelievers. I'll let you guess what happens if they spot us.
Andreja is from Varun Kai, which is the same place as those Varun zealots, yet Andreja escaped because Varun Kai is essentially the North Korea of the settled systems, and Andreja got out. Or at least, that's what we all thought. Sarah, do you want to enter the Star Yard in an instant?
Okay.
2 steps in and we're...
There's a corpse.
We have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior.
Nope.
For you!
There's a lot of corpses in Starfield. You're going to see a lot of corpses. Yep, that was definitely my shot. It was lag. No, it was Sarah's. If you give her a laser weapon, she is crazy. Sarah is lethal with laser weapons. If you give her a laser weapon, she will carry you through any situation. So we find out on Mawara's satellite recording that he's actually gone to Earth's moon to clear out even more spaces after clearing out the first ones at Venus. So this is turning into a wild goose chase now. We fight our way through an ungodly amount of ecliptic mercenaries who moved in after Vanguard Mawara had already killed all of the spaces. So now we had to clear the entire star station again, only to get to the final room and not find Mawara's body or anything, but another recording left by him. This recording tells us that Vanguard Mawara has gone to Neptune now to do, you guessed it, unalive some spaces. We took the opportunity to take this picture. Whatever is happening to their feet there, only game devs could explain. So here we are at Neptune with a gap in its ring.
Wait, you see that?
Yeah,
There's a ship just drifting out there.
Oh.
No time to take in the sights. That could be our Vanguard.
Yep, that was our Vanguard. We find out shortly after that Vanguard Mawara's ship has been hijacked and proceeds to shoot at us. So of course, we shoot some missiles at them and we board the ship. On that ship, some interesting things happen. They have picked the wrong episode, haven't they? Hey man. Hey, I'll just add a little fuel to the fire. So, I hit him with a mine, set him on fire, and that fire joke was okay from me. Sarah went and one-upped me. Sarah, your turn.
Damn, I was just getting warmed up.
That's a good one, Sarah. Oh, alright, Sarah, this kill is mine, okay?
Unacceptable.
Very acceptable. Sarah, you okay?
I am the dragon's daughter.
Oh. Yeah, fire in most games is just not as destructive as it should be. Ah, here you are, Mawara. Ah, indeed, we did find Mawara, and we found the artifact right there as a hood ornament for his ship.
Good work. Let's get back to the lodge.
Yep, finally, we found Mawara. And of course, finding Mawara was a suitable time to end the episode. So now this is the outro to episode 4. We're going to end this episode here. So thank you guys for watching. And as always, have fun. So the first time there where I put my face into something and I zoom into the hand as I cover the camera. And of course using images taken in Starfield's photo gallery as backgrounds for the outro. Episode 5 opens with Astra meeting the main antagonist of the entire game. There, you saw this guy. Let's talk to him. Hey.
Not used to people coming up to me. The suit usually scares them off.
Astra had a chill night in with his parents and found what I think is the best view in the game. Watching the sunrise in Starfield is not too bad, is it? Then Astra meets 2 more members of Constellation, those being Samko and his daughter, Koriko. We meet both of them for the first time, and you'll never guess what we discuss. An artifact. Sam's family heritage is technically from Aquila, and his family drew maps of the planet, and maps where there are things missing because they're too dangerous to go near were labelled as anomalies. This conversation with Sam will end up with us finding a lead on one of those maps. We will find one of those maps, and it will lead us to an artifact. Though that will come later in a different episode. This conversation is just about the fact that we're going to be taking Sam with us to Aquila and go and find those maps. Right, we're going to get back to the ship because I have a bad idea. Oh, hey Mateo, how you doing?
I feel ass.
Right, maybe it's not a bad idea. How about, right, hear me out. The adoring fan comes with us.
Yes! How close should I follow you? 2 meters behind? 1 meter? Less than 1 meter?
So as you can guess, the adoring fan is just a creepy stalker and nothing more. But some people like to tolerate their creepy stalkers, just in case there is need of a meat shield. We go to a little mini inhabitable satellite called the Eye to speak to another Constellation member, Vladimir. He's the main guy responsible for finding the locations of artifacts all across the settled systems because the Eye can find those anomalies we were talking about before on certain maps. And pretty much all this conversation tells us is where we can find more artifacts and a bit about his history with Constellation and more specifically Sarah, the leader of Constellation. So of course, after speaking to Vladimir, we went to go and grab another artifact in some desolate cave where we would trip out on it and have a grand old time again, of course. After all of that, we've now reached the outro to episode 5. Next episode. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm sure I'll catch you in the next one. As always, have fun. See, I kinda like this one. Episode 6. This one starts with the same planet that we ended episode 5 with, and a bit of a plot twist. Next episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. In episode 6, we meet with Lynn, who is our boss when we were a miner at the start of the game. And the reason we're back here is because Barrett, the guy who gave us his watch, has not been seen since he gave us his watch. This was concerning for the other members of Constellation, so they sent me to go and find him. This led to a conversation with Lynn, right here, that ultimately led us to find out that Barrett has been kidnapped by none other than the Crimson Fleet, the strongest faction of pirates in the settled systems. In order to find Barrett, we have to hack a computer, and what do you know? A voice recording was left behind by Barrett in order to help us find him. This is becoming a bit of a common, lazy theme for Starfield. After doing all this, we'll eventually make our way... I just spilt tea on me. We'll make our way to Barrett's location, and we'll find him, not even hostage, he's become friends with his captors. If that isn't Barrett in a nutshell, then what is?
No sense letting people's last moments be unpleasant.
No sense letting people's last moments be unpleasant. Take that with you, folks.
Listen, I'm really feeling this working together, aren't you?
That's how I looked at every previous boss in my life when they said that to me. That menacing stare right here sends chills down your spine and cringe in my brain. Now we're on the outro. That is enough for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, always have fun. See, this outro is really good. I zoom into the hand. I don't fade to black here though before I actually go to the images. Episode 7 opens with a scene that I stand by, and I should probably use it for more episodes.
You know, just by
clicking on this video,
you've shown you make good decisions. I like that about you.
True, because you've clicked on this video, you've shown you make good decisions. I like that about you. This next scene shows our first temple that we discover. There is a temple for each artifact that we find, and each temple that we find after we found the corresponding artifact will give us a superpower. This experience in the temple just shows how infuriating it is to actually have to go through these temples as well. I will be so fucking glad when I don't have to step into another one of these temples, I'll tell you that. Anyway, once we complete a puzzle and float into this ring here, we receive our first superpower, and we feel pretty good about it too. Woo! Woo! And after that, of course, we reported back to the lodge, which is the safe house of Constellation, and all of the members could evidently see that we were different than before. So we ended up demonstrating our power to the other members of Constellation. You ready? Skadoosh.
Like a literal gift from the heavens.
Then the rest of episode 7 is spent conversing with the other members of Constellation and theorizing about who could have made the artifacts and where they come from and why the temples are a thing. And then a little snippet towards the end of episode 7 shows us finding our second temple and receiving yet another power. Why have I gone through it? What is this feeling? And then we get to the outro of episode 7, so here it is. And that shall conclude this episode. Next episode, we shall go to Cassiopeia, for Sarah is evidently still troubled with her past. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and remember, always have fun. And I did forget until we listened to that outro that we do speak to Sarah during episode 7 about her past as well, and she is troubled by it. Though more of her past will be covered during episode 8, which we'll get to right now. Episode 8! Episode 8 is all about Sarah's past. Sarah is the leader of Constellation, but used to be a Marine. And in the Marines, she reached second in command of a certain group, but she became first in command when her commander was killed in action. She then made a bad decision during a particularly bloody battle, ordering her crew to evacuate the ship that they were on onto the planet below. Soon after doing so, Sarah realized that the escape pods were malfunctioning, but it was too late to do anything about it, and the rest of the crew plummeted in those escape pods towards certain death. Sarah is still feeling the grief of this. Astra decided, like a gentleman, that we would speak to an admiral in the United Colonies, which is the faction that Sarah was a Marine for. And in this scene, Sarah specifies that she would like to bring the bodies of the crew home if they can be found, and she needs the help of the Admiral to find the exact location of the escape pods. The Admiral was not able to give us the exact location of the escape pods, only Sarah's. That's right, Sarah got into the only functioning escape pod on the ship and was then stranded on Cassiopeia for 10 months. So, after finding Sarah's escape pod, we managed to bring it back online and actually find the locations of the other escape pods in the process. And the location of one of those escape pods led us not only to the escape pod, but to a camp built by survivors. And note, it's been 20 years since Sarah was rescued by the United Colonies from this planet. So upon entering the camp, we are confronted by the only survivor left. A child by the name of Sona, born from 2 of the members that survived the crash. Sona then decides that she's not going to come back with us to safety unless we avenge the death of her parents, which was caused by this creature. Please stay down. Thank you. So of course we enact revenge, and we convince Sona to come back to the lodge with us and meet the members of Constellation. After doing so, we report to the Admiral that the mission was a success, and we recovered keepsakes from each member of the crew that eventually died.
We did it for the child that was marooned there. A child.
Sona then becomes effectively a member of Constellation, and that covers everything that happens in Episode 8. Episode 8 was strictly about Sarah's past, as she is the leader of Constellation, and I wanted to give more depth to her backstory, so go and check out Episode 8 and find out more about Sarah, because it is really interesting. Now, the outro of Episode 8. Hello. Hi. Yes, I'm a plant pot now. I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you enjoyed our visit to Cassiopeia. Remember, always have fun.
Episode
9. So as I mentioned, recapping a few episodes ago, we would eventually be travelling to Aquila with Sam and Cora. So of course, after travelling to Aquila, we spent a night scouting the city before we proceeded with business, and we had a very good night with Andreja. Alright, Andreja.
Hello.
You ready for a good time?
Yes, of course.
12 seconds later.
Wow.
Ah, yes, we are done.
Ugh, I'm going to bed.
Good, you're awake. I was running out of knives to sharpen while I wait.
Oh shit. Sorry. The next day, we met up with Sam and we discussed how we would get those maps that might suggest where the next artifact is. After a bit of hassle and fuss, we find out that Jacob Coe's dad is actually the one that stole the maps and is holding on to them from us.
This was a mistake. The only mistake I'm seeing here is you.
Of course though, eventually we got the maps and they led us to a place called the Empty Nest. The Empty Nest had been inhabited by bandits, and they'd figured out that the artifact was keeping away any natural wildlife from the area, keeping the bandits relatively safe. Until Astra came along, of course, and decided to wipe every living thing there off the face of the planet, and catch one in a Pokeball for good measure.
This is my favorite part.
Aww.
Can't catch them all.
At the end of the Empty Nest, we did find yet another artifact, and we added it to our growing collection. After retrieving the artifact and clearing out the Empty Nest, we get to the outro of Episode 9. And we can leave now. But we can't, because I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you for watching my visit to Aquila. Remember, always have fun. I will emphasize that. If you watched that episode, thank you for watching my visit to Aquila. Episode 10.
Wow.
We start this one with a poem.
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a poem I wrote? It's called a haiku. I just read about them.
A haiku, huh? That sounds exciting. Let's hear it.
Okay. It's called Space. Space is cold and dark. Starships fly there like comets, carrying us home.
So we just listened to that haiku because it is a very unique one and specific to Starfield, but also because I just want to tell you guys that I had never heard of a haiku before Starfield. If you've heard of a haiku before this video, let me know in the comments, but I had never heard of one before, and that just made me think there's just so many other things, not just haikus, that I've learnt through gaming and through experiences in gaming. So with episode 10, it begins with us finding another temple to one of the correlated artifacts that we have found. Then, episode 10 progresses with us delivering any artifacts that we found up to this point back to the lodge.
As far as we know, we could be building a gigantic bomb that will blow up as soon as we...
And then Walter, the eldest member of Constellation, and the richest, asks Astra to attend a soiree that he is planning. This soiree ends up being a sale from a black market dealer of another artifact. The black market dealer does not know what the artifacts are for or what they're capable of, but does know that they are a very unique and valuable item. Therefore, we are instructed by Walter to go with him to meet his longtime partner and wife, Issa Eklund.
Walter. Issa.
We find out that the seller has been marked for death. Not for possession of the artifact alone, but for stealing it from a multi-billion credit company. Upon reconvening with Walter, it becomes obvious that we are going to use these facts as leverage over the seller and do our best to get the artifact without any harm done to anyone. This is episode 10. But we're going to end this episode here, so just let me... one sec. Oh. Look at that, I became an elevator panel. Isn't that cool? Episode 11. We meet with the seller, use the leverage, and all goes according to plan, until we are about to leave the room. Upon leaving the room, we are immediately approached by a henchman of that multi-billion credit company, Slayton Aerospace.
Stop right there.
Oh.
You're in possession of Slayton Aerospace property.
We are then informed that our ship has been impounded.
Slayton has put a bounty on your heads. He's greased a few palms. Your ship's been impounded at the spaceport.
This message was not received well by Astra, who decided then to infiltrate the headquarters and attempt to assassinate the CEO. Although, upon entering the room, it becomes clear that we can work well together. As a result of this peculiar union, Walter gets more access to specific features on ships that he designs, and we get to take the artifact and deal with the original thief and seller of the artifact ourselves. Check out the episode if you want to see how we decided to deal with him. Astra, Sarah and Walter reflect on his successful mission and returning with the artifact. They could not foresee what would happen next, although I could foreshadow it myself. Piece of the puzzle. I hope whoever or whatever made the artifacts doesn't feel the need to intervene. Yep, that's right, the creator of the artifacts, oh shit, felt the need to intervene. This conversation with a newly discovered race, the Starborn, will go on to reveal a little and a lot at the same time. And they reveal that they've been watching us for a long time, and now is the time they feel they must intervene as we are reaching a tipping point. And by intervene, they mean take all of the artifacts in Constellation's possession and make sure we never remember that they even existed. Effectively, this Starborn demands that we give them the artifact. Walter suggests that we make a run for it. Astra, however, being a little more savvy than that, knows that the Starborn may be way more capable than what we are capable of. So decides to withhold the information about the artifacts that Constellation already has, but will give them the artifact that we just went through a hell of an infiltration for. And suffice to say, Walter was not happy with this.
You're letting them strong-arm us. Why?
This won't be the last time these Starborn have to intervene, Walter. We will get it back, and we will complete the armillary one day.
Alright, we'll play the long game.
Because that was Astra's idea altogether, to play the long game. Once the Starborn left, of course the brains of the members of Constellation went into overdrive. Who are the Starborn? Why did they need the artifacts back? Why did they need to intervene then? And how many of them are there? Both the Starborn and the artifacts. Those questions will all be on the minds of the members of Constellation over the next 5 minutes of episode 11. Once we've got the opinions and theories of all the members of Constellation, we then decided to continue the hunt for the artifacts. This would lead to the outro of episode 11. I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you enjoyed our Starborn intervention. Remember, always have fun. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the Starborn intervention. Starborn intervention is the name of episode 11. I think that's actually a pretty good outro, even though I tilted it, I think, a bit too much in the table. Episode 12. It's a new day, new clothes, continuing with the recap. Welcome, carbon-based organisms, to This is a Robbery! Give me your money or subscribe now! The first scene of episode 12 is about talking to the members of Constellation and theorizing what the Starborn actually are. Then we go and grab another artifact and find out that all of the artifacts and the temples from now on are guarded. We're here. We go to the next temple and we have to fight a powerful Starborn Guardian.
My power is so big right now!
Skadoosh. And then we're on the outro of episode 12. Here. More encounters with the Starborn means more danger for members of Constellation. Remember, always have fun. Episode 13. Coming to a theater near you. Episode 13. So as you can see, we find another temple and get ourselves another power and have to fight another Starborn outside. And a main point from episode 13 is a confession from Andreja. Andreja confirms to us that she comes from Varun Kai, which is essentially the North Korea of the settled systems in Starfield. Though she confesses that she did not escape from Varun Kai, yet she was sent from there to investigate Constellation. She continues to confess, saying that Sarah found her. Andreja still has been sending information to Varun Kai, but only information that's been validated by Sarah. After hearing this confession, it's understandable as to why Astra felt the need to eradicate some bandits from a cave. Yes. And also get rid of another Starborn while getting another artifact. What? And then another artifact is located on a ship called the Scowl. And Astra, still slightly angry about Andreja's confession, decides to remove all human life from the Scowl. Once he's had his fill of souls, the outro to episode 13. Next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Things are starting to happen quickly. Constellation are in more danger than ever. Constellation are in more danger than ever. Episode. For Astra's rage-induced events in episode 13, he will get arrested by the United Colonies in this episode. One of the commanders of the United Colonies has heard of Astra, so they decide to recruit him as an undercover agent. They want Astra to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet. After infiltrating the fleet, Astra meets with Neva Mora, the Crimson Fleet's second in command.
So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew.
Damn straight, girl. And she gives us a mission to kill a deserter of the Crimson Fleet. Instead, though, I help him and give him directions to the Vigilance, which is the massive battleship that the United Colonies use to combat the Crimson Fleet. Once we've done that, we go and get a second mission to go and meet the leader of the Crimson Fleet, Delgado. Before doing that, though, Astra brings all the artifacts he's got up to now back to the Lodge, where Constellation then receives their biggest reality check to date. The Hunter attacked the Eye and left several members wounded, and said he would come to the Lodge to kill the rest of the members. Astra then decides in the moment that he can get to the Eye and save the members there and get back to the Lodge before any serious damage is done. So then we leave for the Eye, and that is interrupted by the outro of episode 14. Alright, straight to the Eye, pick him up, straight back here. Next episode. Great, I chose a ship console to be, and now I have to figure out a route. How to get to the Eye. Yeah, it was weird. It's a weird experience being a ship console. I don't recommend it. And episode 15! The final episode of the recap. Welcome, Bored Apes, to Starfield episode 15. We are running from the Hunter right now and doing a glitch that'll send the adoring fan to the stratosphere. If you feel like a bored ape right now, let me know in the comments. And the glitch is done by having a ship full of crew, the maximum amount, and then having a follower that isn't part of your crew, because they will wait in the lobby underneath your ship. So when you take off, they'll just be sent to the stratosphere. Maybe it's been fixed now, I don't know. Episode 15 starts with Astra arriving at the Eye to save all the members that have been injured by the Hunter. Once that's done, we go back to the Lodge hoping to fight the Hunter off, though the damage has already been done. Oh, Andreja! Derek, now is not the time for toast. Oh my god, Andreja, no. Sarah, get under her quickly.
Andreja.
We also noticed that the artifacts have gone missing. So we talk with Walter to find out that Noelle had successfully packed them up and got away with them. We find Noelle with the artifacts only to be ambushed by the Hunter ourselves.
Hello. There you are.
We fight the hunter back a little bit for some exclusive dialogue. And then we run away and the hunter kills nothing but civilians in an attempt for the artifacts. Astra then manages to escape and reconvenes with a few members of Constellation at the Eye. It was then decided that we would keep the artifacts within the walls of the ship that Astra flies.
Can you sense the power?
After all that stress, Astra then remembers that he's in an undercover mission for the United Colonies. So he heads to the Key, which is the headquarters of the Crimson Fleet, and we get a tour from Navarmora. It is there, in the command room of the Key, where we meet the temperamental leader of the Crimson Fleet, Delgado.
So, now that we are all here, it's time to get down to business.
All goes pretty well in the meeting, so we get a picture with Sarah, and then there is the outro to episode 15. If you're enjoying this series so far, please hit like and subscribe to stay updated for future episodes. So remember, always have fun. So this is the recap. I think it's 3 weeks since this video came out, but, you know, hi, we're back. So, there is the recap to the first 15 episodes of my series on Starfield. If you want to understand more, please feel free to check out the full episodes and leave a like, as it'll help this channel go a long way to reaching more eyes. Remember, always have fun.